Hello everyone, Merry Christmas. My name is Allison and this is my YouTube channel, Green Goddess Plant Seeds and Stitching, and welcome. It's December 22nd, so I want to wish everyone a very happy winter solstice and Yuletide and a very Merry Christmas. It's been a little while. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy time since the last time I did a Flosstube, and so yeah, here I am hoping to do a Christmas one, get some Christmas stitching in. Welcome everyone. If you're new, I'm glad you clicked on there and are joining me tonight. And if you're returning, oh, I'm great to see you back. So yes, so what have I been stitching on? Not as much as I had hoped. I seem to have lost my stitchy bug just a little bit. I have done some stitching, but sort of the underlying circumstances that I've been sick, and we've been busy with markets, with the Christmas markets. But you know, I'll go into that in greater detail towards the end there. So if you don't want to hear my life story, you don't have to listen to it. So we'll start with the cross stitch. So I do have a finish and one new start, and yeah. So I'll start with let's start with my finish. So last time I talked to you guys, I was working on so this is Prairie Schooler up on the housetop, and I was working on, I don't know how well you can see this, this little pattern here. I was working on that one, and I finished it, and there it is, another lovely little ornament ready to be finished. I did attempt to do some ornament finishing last week. It's been a year since I've done any sewing, and you'll get a laugh because the first attempt I'm going to have to take apart. It's horrible, but I'll show you anyway. But this is my finish. I'm very happy with it, although I didn't realize until I had it almost done that part of it was stitched in the wrong color. I had misread the symbols. I think it was the window frames and this part of the outline of the roof, and the door frame. I think they were all supposed to be done in the same color as this fence, and I had misread the symbols and stitched them in a different color. So I'm like, you know what, it doesn't really matter. I still like it the way it is, so it's staying. I'm not unpicking the whole thing just for that. So, but I do love it. I love this tree. I absolutely love that tree. That is so wonderful. So that is my finish. Very happy with that. And then I did have a new start, but we'll do the new start towards the end. The other thing that I've been working on has been my Wallace and Gromit Christmas. So I started this last year. This was kitted up by a friend of mine, and she sent me everything I needed to get started. And I did start it last year. I've sort of been working on this side. Last time I showed you, I had Gromit done. I had this part of this yellow parcel done, and a little bit up in here finished. And I will show you where I'm at. So I have finished this part, and I will tell you, last year I was working on this and I was getting frustrated, and I set it down and I didn't pick it up again. And then when I picked it up this year to work on it, I thought, well, I'm going to finish this area, and I now remember why I was getting frustrated with it. There is like 6 different shades of red in this, and it's not even quite complete. There's a little strip in here that's supposed to have some metallic thread in there that I haven't done yet. But yes, that, oh my god, that there are so many color changes in that little area. That's why I was getting frustrated. But I did finish it, and then I continued on down here, and this is the edge of the pattern, and then this is part of Gromit's. Oh, my lights just went out. Sorry, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and this is the only time I have to do this. So we'll just keep going. Anyway, my tree lights are still on, I think. So this is the edge of the pattern here, and it does continue down a little bit further, and this is Gromit's hand and his sleeve. So yeah, a little more progress. I'd like to get a little bit more done on this before I put him away for the year. Maybe I'll just keep all the winter and stuff going maybe for January or something, just to get a little more done in here. That'd be nice. So that's my Wallace and Gromit. Set that aside. And then the next thing I worked on is my Dickens Christmas Sampler by Twin Peak Primiives. So I think I showed you I had finished this part, or I hadn't finished, I was working on the words. But since then I've taken the border all the way across to this edge, and I've started working in here, and I got a couple of the letters in here done. So let's see here. All right, so there we go. So that block is done, and I put in about 3 letters in the center there because I wanted to get some color in there. And then I've started on this other side. So this is sort of the London skyline with the Dome of St. Paul's. This line here I had to unpick because my counting was off. So I know I redid it, and I think it's okay on this side, but I'm not sure if it's okay on this side. So we'll see if when I bring the border down here, I'll find out really quickly. But one of the things that I did change was the letters in here. It's supposed to say A Christmas Carol. These were originally charted in the same color thread as the border, and I decided I wanted this to stand out a bit more. So I changed it. I don't only have the number with me, but it's a called for color already in the thread pack. So I just chose that, and it's like a dark purpley red plum color, and so that it would stand out just a little bit more than what it would have. So that's my progress on that. Side. And then the last thing I started working on again, I did not get a lot of stitches in this. I only picked it up again maybe a couple of days ago. Is the Seasons Tweetings from Bothey Threads. It's a Wrendale design, and it was in one of their September social boxes back in 2024, I think it was. So I have the bird mostly done. I have a little bit up in here done, or up in here, and I'm starting to put in some of the green down in this area. And this is my progress. It's a 14 count printed Ada. So I don't know how well you can see, but I did start with the green just along this bottom edge, just a handful of stitches there. But the robin is mostly done. There's a few spots that still need to be filled in, and then I did start on some of the flowers up in this area here. But a lovely little stitch. I'm really enjoying this one. Definitely more of a winter stitch than Christmas, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on basically. And since I had the finish on the ornament, on the Prairie School ornament, I decided I wanted to have a new start. And so I started this. This is the Prairie Schooler Santa for 2012. And this is where I'm at. So I'm just using a 14 count Ada that I dyed myself. It was just a leftover piece from another project. So not a lot done, but that's okay. It might be one of those things I can sit and work on Christmas Eve and just plug away at it and just have a nice quiet stitch while you're watching a movie or something. So that's my new start. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you some of my ornaments from the past year that I've done. Some of them are better than others. I think I'm also going to share with you some of the patterns from the Jingle Ball. So I did make it to the Jingle Ball. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. It's just, oh, it's been a crazy, crazy month. 3, 4, you know, I've lost track of time. I've been so tired and sick. I'm just glad to be home. I'm glad to be home with my Christmas tree and all my decorations and my cross stitch, and I can sit and relax and have a nice quiet Christmas. So I'm going to show you some of my ornaments that I've made over the last few years. Like I started stitching in 2022, so yeah. All right, so the first one is, oh, I just lost the hook off of that one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the first ornament that I've done. And so this was actually out of one of the World of Cross Stitching magazines. Oh, I think it was 2023, fall of 2023 maybe. They had a special deal, digital deal on the digital copies, and so I paid like a one-time fee, and I have like 10 years of back issues, which is kind of cool. And I found this little guy I thought was absolutely adorable, and I absolutely love this still. You know, and when I put it on my tree, I put it on where I can see it because I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute, so gosh darn cute. Like how, you know, I just love it. It just makes me feel good whenever I see this. So it's just simply finished. I think I did put a little bit of batting in there and just a little bit of white, just white cotton, like quilting cotton kind of thing. And then I just hand stitched it. I just hand stitched it all the way around. So I'm very happy with that. Like I said, it was my first one, and I absolutely love it. The next one, I think this one came out of this cross stitch. There was an ornament in there, and one of those issues, I don't remember what issue, but I really enjoyed this one with a cup of tea and the Book of Carols, and I just hand stitched it all the way around, so it's very kind of rough. I have to admit, I'm not the most precise person. Like doing precision things is just not my gig. I'm sorry. So yes, there's there's some frayed threads and whatnot, but that's okay. I still like it. And again, it's just simply finished with some quilting fabric on the back there. And then last year, I actually managed to get quite a few ornaments stitched and finished. I did 3 different versions of this one. So the original one was this. This was also out of just cross stitching, or just cross stitch. Very simply finished. I had to kind of hand sew the twine on because I forgot to put it inside. But it took me several attempts to figure out how to layer it properly so that when you turn it out, it's all the right way. So this was the original version. Again, just some nice little seasonal quilting fabric. And then I did 2 other versions. This one using brighter colors, and this one in shades of blue. And I think my original intention was to give these as gifts, and then I don't know why I didn't. Not sure. And then I also did this one. This one I think was out of World of Cross Stitch. I think it was World of Cross Stitch. So Season to be Jolly. And this one I didn't do as good. Like I didn't leave enough on this side. I kind of cut it a little too close, but that's okay. And then the last one from last year was this one. Very simple, very fast. You know, it didn't take me long to stitch that up. It was awesome. Again, a lot of these ones I had intended to give as gifts and then never did. And then I also did, this one, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I shouldn't be showing it because I did the final finish on this one last week, on these next two. And with it being like a whole year since I did any kind of sewing, I'm like, how do I do this? How did I do these last year? I made a whole bunch of them last year. How did I do that? What did I do? And it took me, this one I have to take apart and redo because it just did not work. But I did stitch this one last year, but the finishing on it, I have to redo it. Like, it's just horrible. Like I couldn't get the layers right, and then I initially forgot to put the cording in, and then when I did put it in, I didn't put it in right. So right now it's just pinned to the back of the ornament. So yes, lots of mistakes on this one. So yeah, I'm gonna redo this one. But I like the stitch itself I like, and this was out of a World of Cross Stitch magazine as well. I don't remember what year though. And then this one, I also stitched this one last year and finished it like last week. And oh, did I show you the back? That's the back with the holly. And this was out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Pretty sure it was last year. Lots of stitching. It's basically a full coverage. I didn't do as good a job. It turned out better than the Stonehenge one, but I didn't quite get my edges all even. But you know what? Like I said, I'm not a precision person, and I'm probably just gonna leave it. If I had more time and did the finishing more on a regular basis and got more practice at doing this stuff and had some more skills developed with it, they would probably turn out better. But what do you do? So my next goal for this week is to finish this. Maybe I don't know. I'll probably do it very similarly. Maybe I'll put something a little more firm in the back or something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So those are my ornaments that I've done over the last couple of years. Yeah, one of the things I want to do for next year is to make some more ornaments. I do like them. They're nice stitches. They stitch up nice. They stitch up fast. It's nice to have those finishes. I know I don't want to spend too much time, or I don't want to start too many larger projects, although there's two for sure that I do want to start, and one is my temperature chart, and then, well, the other one I'll talk about a bit more. I don't have the pattern yet for it, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I also did, like a lot of us, I went to Jingle Ball, so it was it was an interesting weekend. We had a market that weekend, as always. The Friday, I was looking forward to it. I was all excited, and I was sort of had logged into it, and I was, I don't know what I was doing. I was watching stuff, and I was looking through the shopping haul, and then the battery on my laptop started to get low, and I went to go look for my charger, and to my horror and dismay, my charger was not in my bag. Apparently I had left it here, and I didn't take it to the farm with me. So I'm like, oh no, and I'm always very, very diligent and very careful about making sure that charger cord is packed. And I always double check and sometimes triple check to make sure it's in my bag. And for whatever reason, I didn't do that. And that charger cable did not make it into my bag. And I'm like, I was feeling so bad. I mean, I did buy a few things from the shopping haul. Like, they haven't arrived yet. Like, I bought some fabric and the ornament book. But I was just feeling absolutely horrified and dismayed that, you know, I had waited, you know, a month and a half or however long for this event, and then to have that happen. And then I went to bed feeling kind of depressed. And then, of course, in the middle of the night, light bulb moment, I remembered, hey, I have my iPad with me. And so I was able to log in using my iPad, different device, but it worked. And so I missed most of Saturday because of the market that we had. But Saturday night, I think I managed to catch the meet and greet with Robin Pickens. I thought it was Annie B's. I don't know if Annie B's was Saturday night or if that was Sunday. I don't remember now. And I spent maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour in the Canadian stitching room or stitchy table. I didn't spend a lot of time because I was tired. And usually I'm fairly quiet, so I tend to not speak up too much and stuff like that. So, but it was still kind of fun to hang out and see what other people are stitching and hear their stories. Sunday, I was able to spend more time at the Jingle Ball. Sunday afternoon, you know, I was able to catch the meet and greet with Jeanette Douglas. And I think that might have been the day for the meet and greet for Annie B's. And I caught Tiny Modernist had a stitchy lounge, so I was able to catch that. And I think, and Hands on Design also had a stitchy lounge, so I was able to catch both of those. So that was nice, and I actually really enjoyed the meet and greets in the stitchy lounges. Those are really nice ways to kind of connect with and meet these designers. I really enjoyed that. I did spend way more money than I should have in the shopping haul. I did buy some patterns, even though I told myself, no, you're not buying any patterns. I did print off, I think, most of the freebies. I don't know if I got them. I may have missed one or two, but I tried to grab all the freebies at least. But I did also purchase them. So I'm not gonna show you them all because I think pretty sure you guys have probably seen most of them. But I did pick up the pin pillows by Jeanette Douglas. I thought these would make great little ornaments. They would probably stitch up really fast. So I got that one. I did get a couple more patterns from her. I also grabbed this one from the Blue Flower called 12 Cats of Christmas, because we have a herd of cats at the farm, so I thought that's very appropriate. I don't know when I'd stitch that, but I think that was appropriate. And then this is one of the freebies from Liz Matthews. It's the Holly, which I might consider stitching that one. And then from Liz Matthews, this one, Humbug. So this one, I think I'm going to stitch. I've already got some fabric. I think this is it's either a 14 or I think it's a 14 count Aida that I've dyed myself, and I've actually got all of the called for threads. So I think this might be a wonderful little stitch for Christmas Eve. After all of the hubbub and the rushing around, I can kind of come home and hunker down, plop in a Christmas movie and stitch away. So yes, it's been a very interesting month, or tiring, exhausting month. Like I said, we've been sick. Glenn and I have both been sick. We both came down with a cold or a flu. I think mine was just a cold. It started out as a head cold, and then I started to feel a little bit better, and then it kind of rebounded and went into my lungs and became a chest thing. And then Glenn's had the flu. Like, he got hit really hard with the flu. Like, we missed the last weekend in November. We had 2 markets that we had to cancel because we were both sick. You know, we both felt kind of okay going forward after that, after we had a little bit of a break, but then it just didn't stop. And you know, Glenn's very good at burning the midnight oil. He was always up at 4 in the morning to do all of his canning, so we had some product ready for sale. And that sounds like an odd thing to have to do, but you know, getting up that early was the only time he had to actually make stuff, because you know, as soon as, you know, the clock hit 9 o'clock in the morning, his phone would go off, and there would be people wanting something from him, wanting to, you know, people with livestock wanting to buy grain from him, or, you know, he'd have to spend the afternoon fixing something or running errands for somebody. So, yeah, the rest of the day was always spent doing other things. So yes, he was very tired. We were both very tired, which probably put us at risk for catching something. And the downside of all of these vendor markets is that it's you know, you're exposed to everything. You know, you can't help it, right? So we ended up both sick. And then last week, we had some weather blow in. We had a nice mini blizzard blow in. So I was actually here at the time because I had to come in for something to do some errands. And I said, well, since I'm going to be here for an extra day, I might also get busy make some tarts, because we initially had one last market last Friday and Saturday, yeah, the 19th and 20th. We were supposed to be in North Battleford at the Western Development Museum. So I made all these butter tarts. And then Thursday I drove back to the farm because the weather had passed and the roads were pretty good, actually. And then we got up bright and early Thursday. Glenn was still feeling really rough. It was cold, and it was almost near blizzard conditions. Not quite, but near blizzard conditions. So we made the attempt. We loaded up the truck, and we headed out. And I think we might have been half an hour outside of Meadow Lake, and we just decided to turn around and head home, because it just wasn't worth it. The roads were in very poor condition. There's very poor visibility. Like, it was near blizzard conditions. And later that day on Friday, someone had posted a picture on Facebook and showing a semi-trailer that had jackknifed on that highway that was blocking both lanes. So we're just like, yeah, we made the right decision to not go. And so he, you know, as soon as we made it back to the house, he contacted the ladies and we're not going to make it. I mean, we probably could have made it for Saturday, but we just said, no, we're done. We need the time off. We're done. We're both exhausted. He, like I said, he was still really sick. We need to be done. We need to be done for the year and for the season. So that was it for markets. I drove back here to Saskatoon this morning. I had a nice visit with my sister and my sister-in-law, and then this evening I had a stitchy friend come over and we had a nice visit. So I'm looking forward to a nice Christmas here at my place in Saskatoon. Yes, it's gonna be a nice quiet Christmas. My sister's gonna be coming over on Christmas Day. We're gonna have a toned down Christmas supper. You know, nothing fancy, no big meals. The large family gatherings are over for my family, for my sister and I. There's no more large family gatherings anymore, so it's just the two of us basically, and my nephew. So we're just gonna have a quiet meal and a quiet Christmas, and I'm quite okay with that. I really am quite okay with a quiet Christmas. So yes, that's what's happening with me this December. It's been quite up and down, and like I said, I didn't get as much stitching done as I would have liked. Like like there were days when I just felt so tired that I'm just not going to pick it up, because when you're that tired, you're just going to make mistakes, right? So yeah. But like I said, I do have some projects for Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. I can work on this. I think it's a beautiful little stitch. Yeah, so I do have some plans for some tentative plans for New Year's, but maybe we'll save that for another video. Maybe I'll try and do another video, maybe probably not before New Year's, but so it might be after New Year's in January, before I get another video up. So maybe I'll do a whip parade. I know it's the season for whip parades, so maybe I'll get myself organized to do that, and tell you all about my plans for 2026. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you stopped by. Merry Christmas, Happy Solstice, Happy Yuletide, and Happy New Year. So until next time, do take care and happy stitching. Bye for now.